Do you know what's more annoying than losing in chess? Losing to a kid. And this is what happens in this game that I'm about to show you, where Magnus Carlsen, at 13 years old, absolutely crushed his longtime friend, Ludvig, who's today about 2640, 2650. At that time, Magnus was candidate to become basically a grandmaster, and he was about 2300. He played a game that is a 100% accuracy. He started very positionally. Everything was going fine for Ludvig until move 12, I would say. He started with knight f3, started with something very calm, knight f6, and he went with knight bd2. That is supposed to be like super quiet. You know, he didn't take any risk. But Magnus said with this move g6, we're going to play a sort of King's Indian formation. And the King's Indian, my friends, is an opening you want to play if you're an amateur, because this is one of the few openings with black where you can actually attack on the king side with all your pawns. That's actually super fun to play. So here, Ludvig developed his pieces. Now Magnus castles and he castles. And everything seems perfectly fine. Now, it's still total theory. Knight c6 is the top move. c3 is the best move. e5, attacking in the center and trying to counter basically this pawn structure and asking a question to the center. Now, playing a move like this would be very committing. You have a bishop here that is white squares, so you want to avoid to put your pawns on white squares, otherwise this one becomes super weak, he has no space. Here, what was played is h3, because Ludvig didn't want Magnus to actually play the move like bishop g4. If he played a move like bishop g4, let's say just he played another move like a3, and now I play bishop g4, it's kind of annoying to have this one that is pinned, and now having, not with this, now having these attacks in the center. Also, after this move, h3 is what we call a prophylactic move, which means is a move that, you know, brings something to your position. You're not committing yourself. You're kind of waiting to see what your opponent is going to do. And trust me, Magnus is going to do something here. He's going to go with knight h5, which is totally typical in the King's Indian. Because what you want is to actually push your pawns. And that's the reason why I'm telling you, you should play this opening. Because it's fun. You're attacking with black on move 8. How fun is that? Because, you know, white is supposed to actually do the same thing and attack with the pawns on the queen side. But we don't care about the queen side, we want a checkmate. So this is the opening that I was playing. This is Garry Kasparov as well, like favorite opening that he crushed everyone with the King's Indian, right? Back in the days. So now he took in the center. Again, is the best move. But now Magnus played knight f4. Attacking actually this one. This one should have gone to this square, basically guarding this pawn. That was super important. Instead, and this is the first mistake from white, on move 9, he played bishop b5. And you will understand why. Because, let me tell you something. In 8 moves, Magnus checkmates his opponent. In 8 moves. It's hard to believe here. Because now he went like this. He took in the center with the knight. And when Ludvig took the knight, expecting Magnus to take back with the pawn or the bishop, Magnus wasn't having it. And he played queen g5. He's not sacrificing a piece. You see what's happening? Behind the knight, there is the bishop. There is this. So if you move, and also what he's doing is that he's threatening checkmate on the next move already, on move 11. Ludvig played the best move. He covered actually this by putting his knight, but now you see why actually the bishop is not good here. You just take it. Usually, in chess, when you make one mistake, the next move is a mistake. Don't tell me why, I don't know. But usually, you know, if we feel like we played this move badly, it kind of puts us in a, I don't know, in a sort of mood where we just blunder the next move as well. And there is something about Magnus. Magnus has this sort of magic power to make the top players play worse against him all the time. Everybody is speaking about it. And the reason is that he always manages to come back in the most lost positions. He always manages to find something to come back. And when you start, you were, let's say you're a grandmaster and you were winning in, let's say 5, 6, 7 games in a row, but you don't win. He manages to draw. He manages to come back and win. Your confidence is taking a hit. And this is the problem. And then when they keep playing him, they blunder in even more. That's a vicious cycle, basically, that happens with Magnus. After this move, White should have played a move like a4, asking a question to this one that is well placed. Instead, Ludvig played knight b3. And now the move that Magnus plays is weird, because we would think about it, because, yeah, it's a check. So we would think about it, but we wouldn't necessarily play it thinking our piece is gonna get trapped. And this is this one. Where does the knight go after? I just don't know. I wouldn't play this move because I'm thinking, you know what? He's gonna attack my queen after. I'm not gonna be able to stay basically on this diagonal, and I'm gonna lose this one. So, and look how it went. Check, king moves. Now he takes the bishop, now he takes the knight, takes back, he brings the rook, develops the bishop, and now he's threatening just rook e1. And this one is gone, totally. You think Magnus tried to defend his knight? He didn't. He said, I can take the pawn in the center. And now Ludvig played this. And here, my friend, there is a checkmate in 2 moves that I want you to find. I give you a sec. Let's go. This is beautiful. Let me tell you a story while you're thinking about this. I remember when I was in Clichy Chess Club. Clichy is in Paris. And Clichy was in the first division, basically the best club, I would say, in France for quite a while. And there is this kid who turns up. He's like 9, 10 years old. I'm 2200 ELO at that time. And he crushes everyone. Crushes everyone. And that kid was... And there is just one thing about losing to a kid, like in this game, for instance, is that when the kid becomes a top grandmaster or a world champion, you kind of feel better about yourself. And that kid that basically was crushing everyone was Maxime Vachier-Lagrave, who became, I mean, you know, right? Who became top 4 player in the world. So, did you find the answer? The answer here is a queen sacrifice. Because if you take Daruk, checkmate. Or you can say Daruk, checkmate.